I'm about to do something kind of crazy. At least, I don't know, it seems kind of crazy. So I was talking to my friend the other day on the phone, and I haven't talked to him in a while. It's one of my best friends since childhood, and he's telling me about this trip that he's got planned with his dad. They're going to Germany for 10 days, and he invited me. It wouldn't be so crazy if it was like, you know, we're planning this next year, but the fact is they're leaving in 5 days. I guess the really crazy thing is that I'm actually considering it. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at flights right now, and
What's that?
I just pulled the trigger.
Nice. Which one?
We're going to Germany, buddy.
Sweet.
This is crazy. I'm not meeting up with my friends until I actually get into Munich. So we're really hoping everyone's luggage makes it there, everyone's flights are on time, but I've actually never been to Asheville Airport. It's pretty nice.
This was my first visit back to an airport in a really long time. And to be honest, I was both a bit anxious and pretty excited about it.
All right, arrived in DC.
A little anxious because I can't even remember the last time that I was around this many people. But excited because it was also a confirmation that the world was all still out here happening, which was kind of a relief to see after these last couple years.
Alright, officially in Germany, in Munich, first time in my life. Just got my first ever stamp in this passport. That's pretty cool. What's up, buddy? How you doing, man? You have a good flight? Alright, I have found my friends. This is Tyler, and that's Big T up there. Alright, found our way to our first hotel in Europe. You can find rooms with 3 beds. So we can all stay in the same spot and split it, which is sweet. You know what's crazy is the room, the minibar is included, the guy said. Which we should probably double check before making a move on it, but...
You already did. You already made a move. Too late.
I think Tyler's faring the best out of all of us, because...
I am ready to go. We gotta find the right place.
I'm dying. I'm so tired.
I feel great.
I'm so tired. I'm so hungry. How are you even still... How? Big T is not making it to dinner with us. I'm calling it right now.
We spent the first 2 days of our Bavarian tour in Munich, the capital of Bavaria and 3rd largest city in Germany. It's been a decade since I've been overseas now. The last time being when I was backpacking around Western Europe with some friends following a semester studying abroad. Unfortunately, just as we were about to head to Germany, we realized we had pretty much run out of money and had to turn back around, which makes this a particularly fitting first venture back across the Atlantic for me.
Alright, so Tyler's insistent that we try the traditional Bavarian breakfast that includes having a beer for breakfast. It's currently what time? 8:45 a.m. Cheers. Ty, you gotta do it. It's your idea. It's still good, even in the morning.
This particular Hefeweizen actually ended up being one of our favorite beers here in Munich. And though we couldn't decide if that was due to the taste or simply the novelty of drinking it in the morning, one thing is for certain, it would not be our last. Seeing as though we're in the heart of Bavaria, exploring the beer scene was certainly a big part of our visit.
Okay, in Germany, Prost.
Prost. And you gotta look each other in the eyes as you drink. Or else it's extremely rude.
I didn't know this before, but Germany actually has laws in place that limit the ingredients that can be used in German beer. Sorry ahead of time for butchering this, but the Reinheitsgebot, or Purity Law of 1516, declares that only malted grains, hops, water, and yeast are permitted. And though the result is less variety of beers, it certainly seems to me that they've perfected the styles they do offer. It also doesn't hurt that the beer is actually really affordable. I don't think we ever paid more than €4.50 for a beer. even at restaurants where the water costs nearly the same, making for a pretty easy beverage decision. Thankfully, the alcohol content is also significantly lower than an American IPA, otherwise we may have been in trouble.
Alright, I know it's really touristy, but we had to come check out the original Opera House. And fun fact, if you don't get a full liter of the beer, they call it lady size. And they don't hesitate to say it to your face.
They were mocking us.
In between visits to the beer gardens, we actually spent a lot of time just walking around the city. We checked out the cool architecture of Marienplatz, and made a visit to the Deutsches Museum, which had been recommended to us by numerous sources and turned out to be a great one. Maybe my favorite part of the museum was this awesome view from the rooftop. As is common in many European cities, Munich has height restrictions on buildings in order to preserve the historic skyline, which allowed us some pretty stellar views all the way out to the mountains. Now, I'm not much of a city goer, as many of you know, but I couldn't help but to notice how clean Munich seemed. I also really appreciated the plethora of designated bike lanes and loved seeing the amount of people commuting on two wheels around town. Later, I got in on my own two-wheel action, but instead of a bike, I rented one of those rental scooters I've been seeing littered around all sorts of cities that I pass through. And as it turns out, they're super fun, and honestly, a pretty darn good method of exploring a wider part of town.
Alright, so one of the most fun things I've done thus far is picked up one of these scooters and just pooned around town at night, and I just stumbled upon this. Check it out. Been really happy with our hotel here in Munich, and what I've been really enjoying is there's this awesome market straight down the road, and I've been enjoying some fantastic, just really good coffee in the morning. I have a couple cappuccinos, and Tyler's doing a hot chocolate with espresso this morning. We're heading on to our next stop, which is Nuremberg, and it's kind of a nasty day out today, so kind of a really good day to travel.
We use trains to get from place to place for the majority of our trip, which is a pretty good option thanks to the Bayern Pass, which can be used for unlimited regional rides in a single day, starting at 25 euros for the first passenger, but just 8 euro per additional passenger up to 5.
Alright, mad scramble for the transportation this morning, I'm not gonna lie. It's been a while. It's very difficult to figure out transportation sometimes when you're in a foreign language speaking country, but these guys are pretty confident we got the right train, so here's hoping. Alright, we've officially had our first little hiccup. It's gonna set us back a couple hours.
We gotta enjoy the great outdoors.
Luckily it's pretty nice out, pretty moody fall day, but we either got on the wrong train or hopped off at the wrong spot. All we know is we didn't find Nuremberg. We're still searching.
Should have stayed on that train at Ingolstadt.
We don't have any food. I'm pretty hungry. We haven't eaten anything yet. Today's noon. You want to try your hand at some train snacks with me, man? We've got a wide assortment here.
Pretty old machine.
The things look pretty old. Out of all the things, the wafer? You want to try that?
It looks like the most unusual.
What is it?
It's a wafer with chocolate.
What would you rate it out of 5? Train snacks. Big T, what do you rate? 1 out of 5? What was supposed to be 2 hours of travel has now gone on to be like 8. So.
Ist das Fremdein Daten Verakusten?
I see you've resorted to drinking.
Drinking away my sorrow.
All right. arrived at location number 2, Nuremberg. Tyler did a pretty good job of finding our hotel. So I got my, bed, and a whole separate bedroom in here for Tom Sr., who we have found out snores, so he's in here alone.
Though Tom Sr. may make a little noise at night, he generally keeps pretty quiet on camera. But don't let that fool you. He is actually the entire reason we're here in the first place. See, back in his early 20s, Big T also backpacked around Europe before settling down to begin his career and start a family. And he, like me, hasn't been back since. Tom just retired though, and in his retirement, he really wants to get back into traveling, which is why Tyler thought that this trip would be a great way to celebrate and kick things off on the right foot. Tom really enjoys learning about history, which is what brought us to Nuremberg. We spent much of our time here touring historical sites from World War II, or even as far back as 1477 in the case of the St. Lawrence Cathedral.
That's supposed to be Virgin Mary. And her surprise when the angel tells her that she's going to be the mother of Jesus, she drops that item she's holding there. She's surprised, overwhelmed, I guess.
What's this place called?
St. Lawrence Cathedral.
How old is it? Any idea?
Like 1500s, I think.
It's pretty cool.
It is. And then that guy underneath is supporting that.
Yeah, I see, yeah.
He's actually the artist that carved all that.
Because of Nuremberg's importance to Germany in World War II, much of the city, including St. Lawrence, was destroyed in the process. Thankfully, however, a massive restoration initiative post-war saw many of the historical buildings and churches restored. A truly incredible feat that I find even more difficult to fathom after seeing these awesome structures in person. Nuremberg is also home to Albrecht Dürer, the first artist to begin signing his name on his own artwork. In fact, the AD signature became so valuable that it elicited forgeries by other artists, including the likes of Marcantonio Raimondi, who, fun fact, Dürer took to court in the first ever copyright action in art history. Pretty cool.
Explain what we've got for dinner here.
Well, we've got some miniature bratwurst.
And then this
Big
traditional
pork shoulder
dish with this delicious potato dumpling.
Oh yeah, potato dumpling, fantastic.
Yo, do you know why the Nuremberg sausages are so small? Why the Nuremberg bratwursts are small?
No. Why?
I don't know. I was asking. I'm not trying to make a joke.
It sounded like the build-up for a joke.
I realized that once I said it. All right, morning of day. Is it day 3 or 4? 4 or 5 is one of those, and we're here in Nuremberg, and today we're taking a road trip or a train trip to Rotenburg. I'm totally butchering that. I'm sorry, all the German people on the channel, but after our mishap with travel yesterday, Tyler has elected himself chief of travel, and he now plans all the trains. If we were to end up on a 7-hour detour like we did yesterday, now we know who to blame.
It's all on me.
Yeah.
I'm going to rely solely on Google, not trying to.
So actually Google's the travel chief? The reason Tyler ended up in charge is a really simple reason. Tyler's the only one that has internet. Do you know the proper pronunciation of this place?
Rotenburg.
Alright, so this is going to be my first doner kebab of the trip. It was recommended by everybody that I get this. It's not even German, but everybody said you gotta get doner, so. Let's go.
Yeah, I wouldn't order it.
He's a tough food critic.
We didn't do anything. Let us out of here, please.
All I said was the kebab wasn't the best one I've ever had. It was fine.
Alright, made our way into the Crime and Punishment Museum here in Rotenburg.
They use to twist the limbs off.
Which one?
Of the accused.
Which one?
Any limbs, really. This one.
So we're pretty much done touring here in Rotenburg, so we've found a beer store.
We wrapped up our day in Rotenburg with a visit to a local beer store to procure some provisions for the train ride back to Nuremberg, which brings our first leg of the journey to a close. But the adventure is far from over. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to my channel and join us in the second part of our journey next time. In the next episode, we make our way to the Bavarian Alps, where we visit the gorgeous mountain town of Garmisch, partake in a riveting sled tournament, and embark on a slightly sketchy attempt to set foot at the highest point in all of Germany.